This is the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial and diamond expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping our show on April 25th, 2014. Our time is 8:49 in the morning, Mountain. Radio show runs on your favorite radio stations. Also, the shows are archived, streaming live right now at HESradio.com, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. We're portable, too. On any portable device, put iTunes on your portable device, type in World Financial Report on Radio. We have a podcast. You can subscribe to it. We go anywhere you do. Harold does daily market commentary on his websites. You can find it on the podcast site as well. And a reminder, the company that Harold recommends, the only company when it comes to investing in gold and silver, Worldwide Precious Metals, is going to be in Calgary the first week of May, conducting free information sessions about investing in hard assets, gold, silver, platinum, palladium, the physical hard asset market. If you would like to attend a free information session, these are personal. Speak with Worldwide, wwpmc.com, the telephone number 1-866-623-2002, 1-866-623-2002, wwpmc.com. Meet with Worldwide when they're in Calgary. They'll have lots of good information for you about investing in the turbulent times that we live in. Harold has an auction coming up. We'll talk about it more in the show in the second half. May 21st, HS Fine Auctions, May 21st, 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain. And this is a special auction. We'll tell you more in the second half of the show. This week, obviously, more turmoil with the Ukraine. Interesting that Vladimir Putin took over the Russian version of Facebook as well. And he continues to try and negotiate with the West over the Ukraine. One thing that we've talked about before, and it's continuing to be a problem, in fact, they're even saying there could be quantitative easing in a major way in Europe. Deflation is a major concern in European countries. Also, Michael Lewis, who was recently on 60 Minutes, who said the stock market is rigged as part of his new book about the flash trading. Wall Street has gone insane. According to Michael Lewis, you can read that story in our free weekly newsletter. Get it from Worldwide. Also, David Einhorn coming out and saying, we are witnessing the second tech bubble in 15 years. That's what he believes is happening in Silicon Valley. Also, retail stores closures are soaring in 2014. And Prem Watsa, who heads up Fairfax Financial, came out and said this week, there's a monstrous real estate bubble in China which could burst any time. Harold, we are in times where, yes, the stock market has continued to go up and we shake our head and wonder why. But the truth of the matter is, we're in a time where you need an insurance policy. We believe hard assets are a great insurance policy because so many people are talking about possibly a major correction in the stock market similar to 87 or a major pullback when they stop the quantitative easing. And we're in a time where people need to be very, very cautious.
You bet, Randy. It's extremely confusing at times. I mean, people that are into the stock market are sitting back and are euphoric, obviously, because the stock market's hitting record highs. But those that really sit back and analyze it, you know, they're saying that this cannot last for much longer because the stock market is supposed to hit record highs when the economy is strong. The economy isn't strong. The job numbers are not good. As you mentioned before, Randy, there's tremendous retail closings in the United States. The middle class isn't working, and they're not spending money, and the economy isn't good in the United States. I'm a Canadian living in the U.S., for the last 32 years, and I've been in the investment business over 35 years, and again, what I'm seeing, I'm scratching my head. I don't invest in the stock market because, again, what's happening in the markets right now just doesn't make any sense, and basically it's way too risky. There were times that we could really put our money into the stock market for retirement purposes, and feel comfortable with our money sitting there. Most of the people that I deal with on a day-to-day basis are not comfortable. They're not sleeping at night. They're concerned about what's happening with their money. On one hand, you've got a very volatile stock market that is not suitable for most people. On the other hand, you've also got a banking crisis that we know is intact because of what happened with Cyprus last year and just the general overall situation with the banking system. The banking system is not overly safe at this point, and that's why we always profess and talk about not keeping more than what they will insure your bank account for. In Canada, it's $125,000. If you have $500,000 sitting in your bank account and that bank goes under, you're only getting back $125,000. So be very, very cautious of that. The markets just don't know what to do at this particular point. Because what's happening in the world economy just doesn't reflect what's happening in the marketplace. So we've got to think, that there's something going on behind the scenes that is making the stock market make these type of moves in face of a very negative overall economy. And it's quite obvious what that is. The fact is that it's been quantitative easing. When you put trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars back into this market in the face of basically they put it into stocks, they put it into bonds, and they put it into mortgage-backed securities, which their game plan was to get the stock market and the economy strong again to where real estate is going up and the stock market's going up and get more people back to work. Because those are the two biggest areas for employment in the United States. Real estate, you've got real estate salesmen, you've got mortgage brokers, you've got builders, you've got supply companies, and all that. And in the stock market, you've got all the brokerage firms and everything. And back in 2009, when the stock markets were very strong, back in the 1990s, you basically saw that stockbrokers were making huge money, $500,000, $1 million a year. Those same people are not making anywhere close to that money again, nor are mortgage brokers or anything like that. In fact, what's happening in real estate in the United States is quite concerning. I know my son is looking to buy a house that 2 years ago was $1.5 million and is now $550,000. And the builder is building homes like crazy, but carrying their own paper. It's almost the exact same situation that happened back in 2008, and again, it seems to be happening all over again, and it's just like people don't learn their lesson from the last time this has happened. So the markets just don't know what to do at this particular point. We're trading in a range in the gold and silver and in the commodity markets, even though food prices have increased, I should say skyrocketed 25% in the first quarter of 2014. So as we're taping the show today on Friday, gold is up $8.30. In fact, on Thursday, when the markets opened up, gold was down $13 or $14. It actually was trading at around the 1260 level. But during the course of the day, the market did reverse and finished up, I think, $9 or $10 on the day. And then this morning, Friday, as we're taping the show, gold is up another $8.30. So it's trading right now at $13.06, and the market is looking a little bit stronger. The silver market did similar. It was down heavily on Thursday, ended up positive on Thursday at the close, and as we're taping the show Friday, the market's up 10 cents right now and trading right at around the 1990 level. We did get on Thursday above the $20 level in silver, but obviously that's not what we want to see. We want to see silver and gold reacting the way it should be to what the world market conditions are, and at this point it's just not doing that. We know that there are major banks like J.P. Morgan and those type of banks that have been involved in manipulating the gold and silver markets in the past, and we still do believe that that situation is present. It's really sickening to believe that the regulators, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, which is the federal government that looks over the commodity industry, doesn't realize or just turns their head to the fact that's what's happening in the commodity markets, especially in gold and silver. Who in the world would want to trade a market that is manipulated? It makes absolutely no sense. That's why we don't trade gold and silver. We buy and hold gold and silver physically because we do believe one of these days within the foreseeable near future, this market is going to react to the situations the way that it should be. In actual fact, if the markets were not played with at this particular point like they were back in 2011, we'd probably be sitting right now at about $2,000 to $2,500 gold, and we'd be sitting right now at about $60, $70, $75 in silver. The fact that we're not looking at those numbers right now is appalling, to be honest with you, because, again, the fundamentals for gold and silver are tremendously strong. Now, we may say that deflation will actually push down the price of gold and silver, and there is signs of deflation, but there's also signs of extremely high inflation. The fact is that food prices, especially beef, has increased by 25% in the first quarter of this year. And this possibly being an El Nino year, we could see weather conditions that could wreak havoc on the commodity markets, mostly the food markets. So if you're paying 25% more for food in the first quarter of this year, and oil prices are trading at $100 to $105, how in the world is this not inflationary? I personally don't understand how in the world they calculate inflation, because even with the way they are calculating, which is based on, believe it or not, car sales and home rentals, the fact is that home rentals in the United States is skyrocketing. My son, who's renting a home at this point, is paying $3,800 a month, and that is a reasonable price for renting a home here in South Florida. So the fact is that there's a lot going on. I see it as inflationary. And, you know, I've traded these markets for 35 years. I know the markets extremely well. And the fact is that these are inflationary times. We've got extremely low interest rates. And as soon as they start to raise interest rates, it's going to wreak havoc on the stock market and on the real estate markets. So they don't dare do that at this particular point. And when they do try to do it and they see what the results are going to be, they're going to go right back to quantitative easing, which means printing huge amounts of money and keeping interest rates low. But as the U.S. dollar continues to fall, and at this particular point, the U.S. dollar is key to several things that are happening in the commodities market. Number one, as we're taping the show right now, the stock market, the Dow Jones is down 130 points. The NASDAQ is down 62. The markets are down fairly substantial this morning. The Toronto Stock Exchange is down 50. And, again, so we've got a lot of red in the financial markets this morning. Meanwhile, gold and silver are looking very, very strong. The Canadian dollar has been weak against the U.S. dollar, but that's been on purpose. The Canadian government has actually made that happen for exporting and importing purposes. But if you look at the state of the U.S. dollar right now, it's at 79.72. The important number for the U.S. dollar that we're watching very closely is 78.50, which is really only about a full penny and a little bit more from where the market is right now. When we get to the 78.50 level, that should push gold to around 1,600, and then once we break 78.50 on the downside and get to the 76.50 level, which is, the 72.50 level, which was the low that we saw in 2011, that's what caused gold to go to $1,900 and will cause silver to go to $50. So again, we're not all that far away from that scenario. Again, once we break through 78.50, I do believe we're going to see a free fall in the U.S. dollar, and that will basically bring the price of gold and silver substantially higher from where it is right now. So again, we don't trade the gold and silver market. I'm not going to, take the risk of going into the marketplace and trading in a market that isn't trading the way that it should be. I'm just content holding on to my physical gold and silver, as are most of my clients, just waiting for the market to do what it's supposed to do. So again, at this point here, there's a lot of fear in the marketplace. We believe that the Dow could drop substantially if it was allowed to trade on its own merit, and so is the NASDAQ. We believe the U.S. dollar is going to come down, but so will the Canadian dollar right along with it. We do believe that the crude oil market is going to rally very strong. We think that crude oil is one of the best investments, and when you take into consideration that Russia is having problems and sanctions against them, and Russia is one of the biggest producers of oil in the world, and you've got a similar situation in Venezuela. Venezuela is one of the world's biggest producers of oil, ships most of their oil to China, and they've got problems and massive inflation. $100 for a loaf of bread, $300 for a pound of chopped meat type of thing. So that's what's happening in the markets right now, Randy. That's what's happening in the world, and there's no doubt that we're in the right market. It's just that these markets have got to start to trade on their own volition, and once that does happen, there's no doubt in my mind where these markets are going. $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in gold, and $100 to $200 in silver, and more than likely $150 in oil, and that's what we see moving forward, and I'm very comfortable with those numbers.
It is interesting. I did go to a website the other day to track the U.S. dollar, and you would think, with what's happening in the United States, that it would be much stronger than it is, but as Harold reported, it's below 80 cents, which shows it is very, very weak. There's only one company Harold recommends you use when it comes to investing in gold, silver, platinum, palladium. When you're looking to invest in precious metals, speak with Worldwide Precious Metals of Vancouver, the only Canadian company that Harold recommends you use. He's been recommending them for over 10 years. They're the experts to trust when investing within this very specialized market. Find them online at www.pmc.com or free of charge, 1-866-623-2002. And I should remind you, they're going to be in Calgary the first week of May, conducting free information sessions about investing in precious metals, the physical market. Speak with them, and if you are living in the Calgary area, would like to meet with them and learn more about starting your own precious metals investment account, learn about hard assets, having an allocation in your portfolio at all times, that insurance policy, connect with them, www.pmc.com, 1-866-623-2002. It's easy to start your own precious metals investment account. You get an experienced, results-driven personal bullion dealer who's there to help you maximize profit, minimize risk by building an understanding and relationship directly with you. All investments are secure and 100% insured to the full value of your investment. The metal can be stored on your behalf, all outside the banking system, or be securely delivered to your door. Discover Worldwide Precious Metals domestic or foreign storage. In addition to premium storage, they have options in specific coin and bar form. With Worldwide Precious Metals, you'll have instant liquidity in and out of the market with just a phone call, and as well 24/7 online access. Connect with Worldwide Precious Metals, www.pmc.com, free of charge, 1-866-623-2002. And if you're listening to our show in Calgary, make an appointment to meet with them when they're in Calgary the first week of May. One of the top stories we have in our newsletter this week, Richard Russell, who is in his 80s, has been writing the Dow Theory letters for well over 50 years, has really become, in the last couple of months, a strong advocate for owning precious metals, in particular silver. And here is an update. He says the question of the year will be how the markets react when the Fed's quantitative easing starts to fade. Sensing the deflationary pressures, the Fed has backed off the imminent end to its zero interest rates. The latest is that zero interest rates, ZIRP, will continue far into the future. My investment stance continues to be holding physical gold and silver with just enough cash to get me by on a daily basis. Incidentally, I note that with gold going down on Thursday, silver held its price, indicating that on a relative strength basis, silver may be outperforming gold. Interesting, all the gold ever mined is still available and in existence, whereas silver is used up for industrial purposes. As for the stock and bond markets, they have been rising on the basis of Fed manipulations. Since the forthcoming actions of the Fed are unknown, the stock and bond markets are functioning at high risk. Meanwhile, money managers are frantically searching for income or profits. So the question is, the risk worth the potential reward? As far as I'm concerned, the potential profits in these markets are not worth the risk. I'm increasingly worried about holding dollars. We can still trade in tangible, unbacked dollars for real wealth, silver and gold. I'm buying all the physical metals I can while they're still available. I think we are seeing the greatest transfer of wealth west to east in all history. China is amassing a huge hoard of gold, Well, I don't know how much the U.S. and English-speaking nations actually have. The Western Central Bank's policy of selling gold to knock down the price is a disaster, and China must love it. The U.S. will lose its reserve currency advantage within a few years, or probably less time. Our defense against a weak economy is always to print more money. In a matter of months, I see the dollar crashing. Richard Russell coming out saying this week, Harold, he sees the dollar crashing, yet at the same time is still buying physical precious metals, gold and silver, in a major way. And he is a strong advocate here in the last couple of months for silver in particular. We have about 3 minutes in our segment here.
Well, let's face it, he's been in the business probably longer than any of us, obviously. He's a very sharp guy. And again, it's just the fundamentals that he's talking about. There's a direct correlation between a weak U.S. dollar and precious metals. It's always been that way. Back in 1990, when the stock market was strong, the U.S. dollar was strong, and the economy was strong, gold was at $250. So that tells it all. When the dollar is strong, gold is low. When the dollar is weak, gold is high. And if you believe that the dollar is going to fall, which we all do, then you need to be in gold. It's quite that simple.
One of the great quotes from our newsletter this week, and you can get our free weekly newsletter from Worldwide Precious Metals. Speak with them. www.pmc.com, telephone number 1-866-623-2002. It's from Keith Barron, who is a mining executive. He says, what is going on is going to cause a massive spike, among other things, and that is because of a lack of gold. I think what is first going to happen is it will be very difficult to get a hold of physical metal. Last year, the Chinese purchased almost the entire annual global gold production, and this is just one country, and the Chinese are continuing to purchase at that massive rate. But we also see the Russians, the Thais, Vietnamese, Taiwanese, all are buying gold. We are talking about all manner of countries in the East, but we're not seeing anything like this happen in the West. When was the last time the United States added to its gold reserves? I don't think this has happened during the lifetimes of most people who are alive today. But getting back to what will cause a massive spike, I think physical gold is going to be extremely difficult to source because there will be a run on physical metal. Most of it has gone to the East, to India, China, and other Asian countries, and the coffers in the West have been severely depleted. So when people around the world finally realize there's a lack of available physical metal, the upside move promises to be historic. And I really encourage you to listen to our radio show on a weekly basis, get our free weekly newsletter, and educate yourself as to the potential of investing in hard assets, gold and silver, and having your own precious metals investment account. One of the things that we're starting to hear is that over in Europe, in particular in England, some of the gold that is being transferred out of the vaults in England to the Far East is gold that was actually from the 1960s. So they are getting to a point where their vaults in England are practically nothing. And this is something that could drive the price substantially higher in the future. Connect with Worldwide Precious Metals. Learn about investing in gold, silver, platinum, palladium. Take part in their seminars the first week of May in Calgary. Find out more. Go to their website, www.pmc.com, telephone number 1-866-623-2002. Going to come back and talk about diamonds, and hsfineauctions.com has a new auction coming up. We'll give you the date as the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall, continues right after this. Welcome back to the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial and diamond expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping our show today, April 25th, 2014. The time is 9:15 Mountain. Our radio show runs on your favorite radio stations. Also, the shows are archived. You can listen to them anytime at your leisure at two different websites, HESradio.com, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. And I should mention we have a podcast through iTunes. Type in World Financial Report on Radio, and the radio show is portable via iTunes, and the podcast, you can subscribe to it. Automatically will come in every week for you to listen to at your convenience. And don't forget, Harold does daily market commentary. A lot of people listen to Harold's market commentary every week. and it's on the podcast site as well. You'll find it on his two websites, HES Radio and rarecoloreddiamonds.com. There's only one company Harold recommends you use when it comes to investing in gold and silver. That's Worldwide Precious Metals. They're going to be in Calgary the first week of May conducting free information sessions about investing in precious metals. If you would like to meet with them and learn more when they're in Calgary, speak with them at wwpmc.com or call 1-866-623-2002, 1-866-623-2002. Harold's website for diamonds, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. The telephone number 1-800-432-1022 to speak personally and privately about diamonds with Harold. Our featured diamond this week is a 1.61 radiant cut, fancy intense, yellow, internally flawless. I love the radiant cuts, and take a look at this video online at rarecoloreddiamonds.com. Click on Featured Diamond of the Week. At that time, you'll see the video that goes along with the diamond. We have a picture of it in our newsletter. It is simply stunning. But even bigger news, and we can finally release this information to the general public, to our radio listeners, you. We have an auction coming up on May 21st, hsfineauctions.com, May 21st, 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain. But Harold, you have developed a very special affiliation with a charity, and this charity is going to benefit from some of the auctions that you hold in the future.
You bet, in a big, big way. It's the Susan G. Komen breast cancer charity, and it's such an impressive charity, Randy, that I met a woman by the name of Nancy Brinker. She was the sister of Susan G. Komen. So obviously Susan got married and Nancy got married because, their names have changed. But when they were growing up, Susan, her older sister, Nancy's older sister, had developed breast cancer, and it was a very, very bad case of breast cancer, unfortunately. And as she was on her deathbed, she said to her sister Nancy, "You've got to promise me that you will do everything in your power to make certain that women don't continue to die from breast cancer." So Nancy Brinker took it upon herself to start the Susan G. Komen breast cancer charity in the name of her sister, and proceeded to build an unbelievable organization that's international. They've raised over $2 billion. And I've got to tell you, Randy, that I've never been more impressed with an organization like the Susan G. Komen charity. But Nancy Brinker, the founder, I mean, how many times does somebody promise to do something and either does it to whatever ability or never follows through? But to make a promise to your dying sister and to actually live up to that and build a charity of the size of the Susan G. Komen breast cancer charity, I just think she's such an amazing woman. And Nancy Brinker went on to be the ambassador to the United States for Hungary. She worked under George Bush for 4 years. She was Time's most influential person, and this is the type of woman that founded this charity. And I had met her at a charity event about 6 months ago, and we became very good friends. I respected her tremendously and what she was doing and what she was trying to accomplish. And because it's a pink charity, I mean, it was such a natural thing for us to get involved, seeing that we're, so big in the pink diamond business. And when I had met her at this party, they were actually lighting the bridge that went into West Palm Beach, and they were lighting it pink, a very big ceremony, and the mayors were there and all the press and everything. And when I got a chance to talk to Nancy, I had said, because they have that ribbon, Randy, the breast cancer ribbon.
That's right.
Done in pink. Well, I had asked them why they had never thought of doing it in pink diamonds type of thing, and they were so enthralled by that opportunity that we spoke further, and we had meetings together, and we talked, and I said I wanted to get involved, and we made the first of the Susan G. Komen pink ribbons. We made the first one out of pink sapphires. It turned out to be so magnificent, and we presented it to Nancy Brinker, the founder of the charity, and I understand she never, ever takes it off. So we're using that as a fundraiser to raise money for the charity, and then also we're going to have a phenomenal auction for H. Siegel Fine Auctions on May the 21st at 8 o'clock. And what I've done is I've included some outrageous jewelry, some of the most beautiful diamond pink and yellow diamond jewelry, and we're using that to raise money for the foundation, for the charity. So there's going to be some of the most amazing jewelry pieces that we've ever shown, including a pink diamond ring that's a fancy pink that's over a carat, and the starting bid on that is going to be just under $50,000, but that's a $250,000 to $300,000 diamond ring. We've got matching earrings. We've got beautiful heart jewelry. We've got so many beautiful pieces, and 50% of what we raise is going to the charity. So it's something that I really wanted to get involved in because I was so impressed with Nancy Brinker and her organization, and the more and more that I met with these people and saw what they do and how they help people, it just was something that I had to do. And again, my wife is involved. We're throwing a fundraiser in Colorado for them over the summertime. I'm going to raise a lot of money, and I hope to raise a few $1 million for them in 2014. So again, it's something that I believe in, and I hope our listeners do too, and they will attend the auction realizing that over 50% of the money is going towards the charity. And again, we intend on doing a lot more auctions for them. So please sign up for this auction. It's on May 21st. Not only will there be phenomenal jewelry for the Susan G. Komen Foundation, but on top of that, there's going to be some amazing loose pink argyle diamonds also, and we're probably going to put up a couple coin sets. So it's going to be our last auction until October, till I get back from Colorado. During the summer months, things slow down a bit, and we don't really hold auctions during the summer. But all in all, the diamond business is on fire because of all the situations happening around the world right now with what's happening in Europe and the fact they may go back probably will into quantitative easing. On top of that, you've got the situations in Russia, you've got currency devaluations, you've got an extreme hyperinflation in Venezuela. They're paying $100 for a loaf of bread. You need to put money in assets that do not trade on the exchanges like the stock markets do and like some commodities do. A diamond will react to these market conditions as well, if not better, than almost any other asset, and there's no risk to buying investment quality diamonds because they're so rare and there's so few of them that they never ever decline in value. If you look at the 30 million carats of diamonds that come out of the Argyle mine each year, 95% of those are white industrial diamonds used to cut other diamonds, so those are definitely not investment quality. The other 5% are made up of pinks, blues, brown diamonds, and some other very, very amazing colors. But you're talking that of all the diamonds that come out of the Argyle mine, less than 1% of them are actually considered investment quality diamonds. And as far as their famous pink diamonds go, they are in such high demand, but the fact is that all the pink diamonds for an entire year that comes out of the Argyle mine wouldn't even fill a champagne glass. And we can send you that picture and article because it's true. So the fact is that the Argyle mine that produces 95% of the pink diamonds in the world is going to close within 6 years. This is a situation that we will never ever get another opportunity to visit because there's no other mine in existence that produces 95% of any given diamond. So again, we've got an opportunity to invest in Argyle pink diamonds while the mine is still open. Give it 6 years for the mine to close down, 2 years for all the diamonds to run out, and we believe that the price of pink diamonds will increase 1,000% from the prices they are right now. And it's already starting to happen. The prices of pink diamonds are increasing on a yearly basis. They're very, very difficult to get. We're major investors in Argyle pinks because, again, of my commodity background. I know what supply and demand is, and I know when a commodity is in very short supply and demand is high, what happens to the prices. I've been involved in that for 35 years. So when I see a situation like the Argyle mine that produces 95% of the pink diamonds in the world, and that mine is going to close and there's not going to be any more pinks, well, the fact is that it's something that we had to get involved in because the returns are going to be astonishing. Just absolutely astonishing. A $50,000 diamond today could be a $500,000 diamond in less than 10 years from now. You tell me any other investment that could give you those type of returns with the safety that you have in the diamond market, because again, there's hardly any of these diamonds available. And if Argyle produces 95% of the world's pinks, the other 5% are also extremely valuable, and we know that for a fact because last year there was a half a carat round vivid pink diamond that sold. It was not in Argyle, but it sold at auction, and it sold for $500,000. So the fact is that pink diamonds are rare, and soon there's not going to be hardly any of them available. And if you go on my website, you're going to see the lion's share of them, because it's something that I've invested very, very heavily in for myself, my family, and for my clients. So the fact is that I own these diamonds, and so do my clients. And then we also own the secondary market, H. Siegel Fine Auctions, that will resell these diamonds. So right now, when you go to the auction on May the 21st, and you go to the auction site before that and look at the catalog of all the beautiful diamond rings and this magnificent 1-carat fancy pink diamond ring worth probably $400,000, the starting bid's going to be $50,000. And most of the money is going to go to the charity. So these are from my private collection. These are my own diamonds, because nobody is selling their Argyle pinks today. All of my clients are hoarding them and buying them because, again, we're never going to get another opportunity to buy these again. So we've got basically a few years to accumulate these pink diamonds. What's also happening to the Argyle mine is that the colors are starting to change. Where they used to be fancy intense and fancy vivid, these very deep, beautiful, highly saturated pinks, now brown is starting to seep into the mine, and brown in diamonds is an undesirable color to the extent that they're coming out as fancy brownish pinks, and they just aren't beautiful. So they're not in investment quality. When we get all of our diamonds from Argyle and we sift through everything that we have, we may sell off 75% of them just at cost to other dealers around the world, because we don't deal in those lesser quality diamonds. Our diamonds are of the highest quality and the best colors, because the highest saturation returns the most amount of money, and we make our money when our clients sell their diamonds. We get 10% of the profit when our clients sell, so we want our clients to make the most amount of money. That's why we bring these type of diamonds to the marketplace. The auction that's coming up is going to be sensational. It's going to be the first auction that we're doing in conjunction with one of the biggest charities in North America and in the world, and we anticipate getting very big with Susan G. Komen. So again, I hope that you will embrace this opportunity. There's going to be some unbelievable opportunities price-wise. You're going to be able to buy diamond jewelry that you would never, ever be able to buy previously. This is all from my own private collection that I've had to put away for many, many years. Again, I've been in the investment business 35 years, and I know what makes money, and nothing makes money like these diamonds and diamond rings that we're going to be offering. So, again, I'm very, very pleased that we're going to be able to be in with Susan G. Komen. We're also going to auction off one of their famous ribbons, and it's going to be made out of pink sapphires that's going to literally take your breath away, and we're at present making some out of pink diamonds that are going to be at a level that you would never believe. So again, mark it down on your calendar. We'll keep you updated. We'll obviously send you emails and everything, but put that date aside. It's a very, very important date, and not only are we going to be able to help one of the most important women's charities that there is, and wonderful people, but our clients are going to be able to purchase diamond jewelry and other loose diamonds at phenomenal prices. So again, I'm extremely excited about this, Randy. It's going to be one of the biggest things that we do, and it's, again, something that I plan on embracing and taking to a very high level.
And one thing that we should pass on, because I knew this was coming behind the scenes for a while, that Susan G. Komen, they just don't deal with anyone. And they were very, very impressed with rarecoloreddiamonds.com and Harold Siegel after seeing his website, listening to the radio show, hearing him and seeing him on Bloomberg Radio as well. They did a complete investigation of Harold and his businesses and spoke with him, and they realized they're dealing with the best when it comes to rare colored diamonds, investment diamonds, jewelry, the auction business. That's why they've chosen to affiliate with Harold Siegel. So the next auction coming up on May 21st, 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain. Go to hsfineauctions.com and sign up today. This is in conjunction with the Susan Komen Foundation, Breast Cancer Foundation, obviously a worthy cause. Our featured diamond of the week is a 1.61 radiant cut, fancy, intense, yellow, internally flawless. It is absolutely stunning. Go take a look at it at the featured diamond, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. And I should mention that one of the world's largest diamonds will go under the hammer in Geneva next month. It is a yellow. In fact, they expect it to go for about $25 million. It's the Graph Vivid Yellow, and it weighs 100.09 carats. As well, a 13-carat blue diamond may fetch $25 million. That's Christie's Geneva Magnificent Jewel Sale coming up on May 14th. Another story we have, and I really encourage you to read it, is diamonds may be forever, but current prices are not. Rough diamond prices have climbed 3% over the last few months, due mainly to declining supply combined with soaring demand from China, and the trend is likely to continue until the end of this decade. And as well, Christie's Magnificent Jewel Sale, April 16, 2014. Last week we had colored diamond auction results. This week we have white diamond auction results, the D-flawlesses that Harold brought to our attention a number of years ago. I should mention that Harold sent me a video, and I'm watching the video right now. I'm a big sports fan. I love the NHL, the NFL, and this ring that I'm looking at, it's nicer than some of the Stanley Cup championship rings or Super Bowl rings that I have seen. Harold, it's Rennie's ring. This is one of the most amazing diamond rings I have ever seen. And if you were a Stanley Cup champion or a Super Bowl champion, I think this is the type of ring you would want. It is absolutely stunning.
Oh, you bet. I'm glad you loved it. The fact is that none of the Super Bowl rings or sports rings compare to this one, cost or rarity, because we made this magnificent man's ring out of 22-karat gold. It's encrusted in white diamonds, and in the center is a very rare pure pink diamond. It's a one of a kind. It's a museum quality piece, and again, it's for one of our biggest clients, and it is spectacular. It's the most beautiful men's diamond ring I've ever seen. And it is gorgeous. I just wanted Randy to see it because the video of it is like nothing we've ever seen before. And again, our jewelers out of New York make museum quality pieces for our clients, so which can raise the value of the diamond in itself so substantially that there's been cases, for example, a couple of years ago, there was a fancy vivid yellow diamond ring that sold at auction. It was a 2.5-carat marquee, fancy, vivid yellow. It was not flawless, but it was close to it. It was a VVS1, and it was in a Bulgari ring setting. Now, I know diamonds, and I know that diamond itself was worth $150,000, and that's what Christie's estimated the value at. It sold for $950,000. So crazy things happen when you take these magnificent diamonds and put them into museum quality pieces. When they go to auction, they can return numbers that you just wouldn't believe. It's very, very exciting. And the beautiful thing about being in the diamond business is I get to see in a lot of cases the faces of the clients that end up with these magnificent pieces. What's so bad about buying a diamond that is a phenomenal investment, putting it into a beautiful piece of jewelry, having it worn by your wife or your significant other, and let her enjoy that for the next 10 years, and then give it back to us to sell? And you would be shocked at what the returns are going to be. You will enjoy this investment more than any other investment that you could make because, again, everything else is paper. This is real, something that you hold in your hand. It's like also comparatively, I guess, owning a late model, car that you grew up with. Those are the type of assets that people want to own nowadays. That's the type of assets that people feel comfortable with, something they can hold in their hand. Physical gold, physical silver, physical diamonds, a magnificent vintage car, some beautiful art. Those are the type of things that are doing the best in investment quality right now, in investments right now. Everything else is suspect. Everything else we could wake up in the morning and find out, that the markets have crumbled and we're back where we were in 2008. So, again, this is something you would totally enjoy, get tremendous love out of wearing it, and then give it back to us to sell and enjoy what the returns are going to be. Rare colored diamonds is one of the best investments you could ever make, and when you see some of the jewelry that we make, you'll know exactly why these pieces sell for fortunes when they go to auction.
Well, Rennie, when he walks in a room and he has Rennie's ring on, I'm sure that he's getting a lot of attention, as was the case when we had our seminar here in Edmonton a few years ago in November. That one young lady who was given a pink diamond ring from her, I believe it was her husband. She had it on, and the people, Harold, there was a crowd of people around her looking at that ring. And that, you can't put a price tag on something like that because people were simply in awe of that outstanding ring. RareColoredDiamonds.com. Speak personally and privately with Harold about investing in diamonds. 1-800-432-1022, 1-800-432-1022. The website, RareColoredDiamonds.com. Our featured diamond of the week is a 1.61 radiant cut, fancy, intense, yellow, internally flawless. Absolutely stunning diamond. Speak with Harold about adding that to your diamond portfolio or starting a diamond portfolio today. And we cannot forget, Harold has developed a relationship with the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation, and he has gone into a partnership with them for the next auction, hsfineauctions.com. Next auction, May 21st, 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain. And the partnership will obviously help raise money for breast cancer, one of those things that every family pretty much has been touched by. So, Harold, I know that we really encourage people to go to hsfineauctions.com this weekend and sign up. When do you think we might have the catalog up on the website so people will get an idea of some of the things that will be offered?
The catalog will be up before the end of the month, so by next week everything will be up, including the jewelry, which is spectacular, including a pink diamond ring over a carat, where the bidding is going to start at $50,000. It's worth $300,000 to $400,000 right now. So everything will be up by next week. Plus, we're going to have the Susan G. Komen ribbon up there, made out of beautiful pink sapphires. We're making one out of pink diamonds. A lot of exciting things happening. The diamond market is on fire, and again, we're right in the middle of it. And I'm really excited that this is something that our clients are enjoying so much. And again, we anticipate the next 10 years in diamonds will be the best years that we've ever seen.
One of the other items I wanted to touch on, we talked about a yellow diamond being for sale for $25 million. Also the blue diamond for sale, $25 million. And at that Geneva Magnificent Jewel Sale, May 14th, they have a diamond there. It's a vivid blue-green diamond known as the Ocean Dream. And they have an estimate on it of $7.5 to $9.5 million. They said that it's one of the world's rarest diamonds. And we'll keep an eye on that diamond as well. But when it comes to investing in diamonds, rare-colored diamonds, there's only one person to speak to, one website to go to, RareColoredDiamonds.com. Speak with Harold Siegel personally and privately, 1-800-432-1022, RareColoredDiamonds.com. Go take a look at the diamonds there. It's like going to a museum online, seeing the world's finest diamonds in one spot. And hsfineauctions.com. Next auction, May 21st, 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain, raising money for breast cancer in the Susan G. Komen Foundation. Harold, we have approximately 1 minute left. Whether it be the diamonds or we really believe even other hard assets like gold and silver, for those that have heard the story for a long time, it's really time to take action because, as we mentioned, we have that story in our newsletter. We have rough diamonds going up 3% in a month. The long-term story for diamonds is very positive. People should invest today.
You better believe it, Randy. It's really exciting. We're in the mining business. We've been in the mining business. My partners have been in for over 100 years, so I understand what's happening in the rough diamond market, and it's on fire, and it's something that, again, that we get involved in and some of our clients also. So, again, to be in diamonds at this particular point, it's a great place to be. We have no problem sleeping. We don't worry about market fluctuation or anything like that. It's just a great time to be in the diamond market.
Thank you very much, Harold Siegel.
It's my pleasure. I wish everybody a wonderful weekend and a very, very profitable day.
Don't forget, when you're looking to invest in precious metals, speak with Worldwide Precious Metals of Vancouver. Canadian precious metals bullion dealer recommended by Harold for over 10 years. They're the experts to trust and work with when investing within this very specialized market. Find them online, www.pmc.com, or call 1-866-623-2002. Get our free weekly newsletter from Worldwide. As well, they're going to be in Calgary the first week of May, conducting free information sessions about investing in gold and silver, the physical market. Book your exclusive spot today. And on the diamond front, hsfineauctions.com. Next auction, May 21st, 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain. And speak with Harold, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, 1-800-432-1022 about our featured diamond of the week. That's it. Another edition of the World Financial Report on radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall. We will talk to you next week.